My angels. Just to say, I'm trying to get set up here, and look what I've done. I have changed the mic setting, and I literally have no idea for a few minutes, and I'm gonna have to do my little broadcast with this because I miss you guys, and I need to get on this. I feel like I've trained my whole divorce for this. Literally since 2023, I've been fixing or learning how. I properly know how to fix a Hoover, lots of things. So, add it to my resume. I clearly feel like I've been on vacation. Okay. Wow. Oh my God. I'm just gonna get a hold of myself real quick. I hope you're well. I really, truly missed you, and I was getting verklempt and silly coming into this room today because I feel like it's become a part of my life, and you guys have become a part of my life, and hopefully I've become a part of yours too. Hang on, just hold on. Take two, right? Take two. Okay. Do I just need to start entirely over? Because there's being weird and then there's being special. Oh my God, this stupid microphone. Okay, listen. It's too many. It's like I've gone too many places. I don't even know. Actually, can we just go on from there? I'm just going to go on. I think I've said hi. I think that I'm not going to redo any of my takes. I'm obviously struggling to get back into the flow of things, but I can't decide, is it that or am I just joyful? I feel really joyful right now, and that's nice. Missed you guys tons, and I'm back. And while I was gone, I went out on this walk one day, and I was walking, and I don't know, it just came to me the word good news. And I thought of how, like, there's so many applications. What is good news, right? I mean, obviously there's anything but good news going on at the moment. We have the whole Iran situation. We've got all of this stuff happening. Not new at all, but it's not good news. That's for sure. And I want to be clear that for me, recording this and saying I want to bring good news is not a desensitized or irreverent thing. I truly believe that there are those of us there should be more of us, who are midlife or onwards from that, who cannot be a part of this narrative anymore. I cannot be a part of this narrative. I don't fit in this narrative that the world is a horrible place. We're going to hell in a handbasket, and praise the Lord. Jesus has just got to come and rescue us back. And before he does, we all need to clean ourselves up and blah, blah, blah. Okay, I just cannot do it anymore. Any narrative that has you freaking out, fearful, is not a good narrative. Okay, it's not what you want to be listening to. I get it that real things are happening. I'm a realist. Okay, I'm a realist. I like reality, but reality is not what you see with your eyeballs. Okay, just remember that. Reality is not what you see with your eyeballs. My daughter's calling. Hang on. I told you guys when I went on my break that I was coming back with some fresh bread for you. So here's some things that I have to share that I heard on my break. Number one, share good news. All right. I'm an Old Testament girl. I'm an ancient Near East girl for sure. And I've spent 5 years in Genesis and all of the ancient cosmologies. However, on my break, I thought, you know what? I'm not really interested in the New Testament right now. Not to say that I don't like it. Don't worry. It's sort of cherry picked in the way that Christianity, I think, expresses itself linguistically at the moment. I'm wanting to stay away from anything that's post 70 AD. Except to say the words of Christ himself, Yeshua HaMashiach. I'm getting passionate about just hearing the words of Christ. There's a really good audiobook I downloaded. It's called The Sayings of Jesus or something like that, Sayings of Christ. I downloaded it and I've been playing just what Yeshua said himself. And it's fascinating. It's every single bit of it is consistent with Genesis and the Old Testament, as it would have to be. But I have particularly been thinking about what he talked about. And he didn't talk about a lot of the stuff that we're talking about today. All right. I think that what he mostly talked about was the kingdom of God, his Father's house. He talked about life in terms of family. He talked about life in terms of stories. He didn't care if he made sense to everybody or not. He obviously had zero people-pleasing tendencies, no fear of man, or he probably did have fear of man and had to just overcome it, rather. He was 100% divine, 100% human. You and I are 50% divine, 50% human. And everything that he said is starting to refascinate me. So I'm kind of going to go on a journey with that. But I was thinking about how a lot of people think that Christianity is about the good news, right? And yet, does anybody think that Christianity actually says anything that makes you feel like you just heard good news? So I was on a walk with myself the other day, and I felt like I heard the Father say, I want you to share good news every time you do a message, an episode. I want you to think about what is the good news of it. And I was like, wow, that's deep. Okay. And I was thinking today, based on the message that I have for you today, which is a fresh scribed message. Some of you guys know, I think I've mentioned it before, that my first encounter with hearing God was scribing, penning. Like I would be writing and then I would just start to hear music. And so I was in music for a long time. And then I started to just hear words that it would almost go from like sounding like my voice did not. And I was like, this is a bit, at the time I was like presumptuous. And then I started to realize that I was hearing God speak to me through pen and paper. And so anyways, that's been my go-to, like, gifting has been scribing. So yeah, so that's what I did this morning. I sat with pen and I just let it go. All right, let it rip. And God gave me a message about hope, which is very interesting because that's the very thing I think my last episode before I broke was about hope. I think I said in it, does it feel comfortable to hope or does it feel unfamiliar to hope? And if you're like me and you're answering it from having come through really challenging years where maybe you got disappointed over and over, you just felt lost or just weren't even sure what you were doing anymore, you know? Like, like that. Okay. Well, maybe a week ago, I had this, let's call it a smell. It was like I smelled hope cooking in the kitchen, and I was at 555 on my clock. And I started to think of hope as a smell. And I just felt like, oh, I'm supposed to follow the smell, you know? Like, it was gentle. It was a gentle way to hope. Then I was speaking with somebody on the phone who was in a really challenging situation, and her son had been so repeatedly disappointed. And I said, we were praying, and I said, you know, actually, I didn't even mean to do this, but I have a plant sitting here. If you had a plant and it had really dry, hard soil, right? And you just took a bucket of water and you poured it on top, it would kind of sit on top of the soil. You know what I'm saying? And it was like, in my mind, I was thinking, that's what it feels like when you have a hard heart and like hope wants to come. It's too much. It can't just take it in, you know, because the ground is too hard. The heart is too hard. It could be cynicism. It could be just disappointment, pain. It could be whatever. But you know it if you know it. And if that's you and you feel like, ooh, maybe Autumn, me too. Like when you go through battles, y'all, I'm going to pull out my Southern on you. When you go through battles and you go through relational trauma and trials, and you're just like, whoa, I mean, what else are you supposed to do? Can I say? Like, God knows that your heart is going to get a little hard. You want to protect yourself. You don't want to be the fool again. You don't want to be naive again. I get it. You know, a couple months ago, I started to say, I think this heart is like worn out like a car. You know, it's like, you're just going to have to scrap it. We got to scrap it. Something is just not my brain. Can we do my brain too? All of it. And I started to ask for a new heart and a new mind. I don't know how you feel. If you've been through so much, you're like, yeah, I think we just got to start over. Well, then we're probably doing that right now, because if you've noticed, I've been talking about cosmically all the stuff going on in the cosmos with the planets and the alignments and everything. Everything that's going on at the moment, I think, is trying to push out old cycles and bring in new cycles. And with the new cycles, new hearts, new minds, you know, and new hope. Okay, that's where I'm going. New hope. Okay, so for my first day back, I'm going to share this word that I wrote this morning with you. And I hope that as I read it to you, I'm praying over your heart. All right, I'm praying over, would just feel the word. If it hits you and you're like, boom, it's like bouncing off my heart, then you know that you've got some like hardness going on. Okay, and that's all right. There's no judgment, all of that. But cynicism, pain, disappointment, pride, all of those things, that's what gives us that hard shell, okay? And we want thick skin, but we do not want a hard heart. And the difference is, one of them makes me resilient through life, okay? That's what protects me, all right? What protects me is having experience in life to say, that's all right. You know how to navigate things, all right? But having a hard heart is death to the body. It will bring death to everything in your life, relationships, hopes, dreams. It's a protection that, it's funny because it's like, if you think of a skin over your heart, I actually think that is over your eyes. I think that when you're always looking for the angle, you're always looking for the cynical, what is it about this situation, this person I can't trust? You have a hard heart. Truth. And I've just had so many tastes of that in the last 6 months. I've realized how guarded I got. I've realized how life has taken its toll, and that is to be expected. But the good news today is that no matter what, hope is, it's so funny how when we say hope, it almost sounds like a childish fancy. It's a funny word, hope. I don't know what you think of when you think of hope, but oh yeah, so I was telling you about this story. I was telling you about this plant, and I never told you the end of it. Why? I don't know. But when I was in prayer with my friend, and I saw the water being poured on the hard ground and just sitting on top of the hard ground, the next thing I saw was like, imagine God theoretically taking out, like, you know, one of those misters that you spray the plant instead of like pouring water on it. And I just saw God spraying water like hope over the same soil, this hard ground. And this fine mist comes over the ground and it just absorbs it. And it's like mist. mist. Like, it was just the sweetest, gentlest thing ever. And I thought, that makes so much sense. That's the first word, was God knows if hope itself hurts. If it hurts and you're full of cynicism and protection and all of that, he knows that. And there is a way of giving you hope that is gentle enough. It's just a mist. This conversation about hope is like this, okay? The first way that God was speaking to me about hope was, I was in a meditation time and I like smelled something, and I thought, or I was writing it and I was smelling it, and I was like, what is that? I was like, what is that? That glorious aroma. And it was like, that's hope, right? I think I shared it in the last message. I was like, huh. And I knew, I don't know if I can explain this very well, but I knew that the Spirit was speaking to me about hope in a smell because it hurt too much to hope at that time. I didn't actually hope. I wasn't hoping. I was just surviving. Okay. You guys know the difference. And I had heard somebody say to me a while ago, when you go through a divorce, you don't just go through the grief of the loss of family, but you actually have built in your mind an entire future with this person, right? You have built an entire future with your kids and this person, and you have envisioned mentally so many thousands and thousands and thousands of times the future that you also have to have like a funeral for the future that you created, you know? I don't mean an actual funeral, but maybe some of you guys would want to do a ritual or a ceremony, and I think that's cool. But that concept hit me really hard because what you don't expect is that you don't really know, you will be rebuilding, whether you like it or not. You start over, whatever. Everybody starts over from a different place, but I think what you don't expect is to feel such hopelessness and to think that there's something deeply depressed and wrong with you. And there is depression that comes with it, and it is hopeless and all of this. Very sad. Grief is all of those things. But I think because I heard that, I had thought, well, I'll just rebuild. I'll just re-envision. So like I have a good imagination. I'll come up with new dreams. It's not that simple, is it? It sure isn't. It sure isn't, because what I have been experiencing in the last 6 months is like, I don't have vision. So I wonder how many of you guys feel like you don't have vision. If you're being honest, you don't even know where you are, let alone where you want to go. And that is what we're going to sit in this morning for a second. I want to be with you in that place, honestly, because number one, the Bible says, without vision, men perish. So we know that our meaning and purpose in life is connected to having vision. Meaning and purpose is what keeps humanity going, keeps us desiring. Psychologically, we have to hope in something. If we don't, and again, Proverbs says, what is it? Hope deferred makes the heart sick. I think a lot of cancer comes from hope deferred. I think that a lot, if not all disease, comes from disillusionment, disappointment, depression, all of the D's, right? Dysfunction. That is the definition of cancer. It is dysfunctional, disorganizational cell structures in our body, right? So it's a big deal. It's a big deal to have vision. So fine. Well, what do you do when you don't have vision? So let's get there. So my aunt and I were talking about, so I called her one night. I said, I don't know what's wrong with me. I don't know what's wrong with me. I'm up 1 minute, I'm down the next. I'm doing all these things. I'm trying to create, momentum. And I was. What I realized was, what are you creating the momentum for, right? You can't just have momentum. Where are you going? And I was hitting a really tough spot where I realized you do not want momentum without a vision, because if you have momentum without a vision, you're going very fast and steadily towards nothing. Okay? So yes, it's good to get going. And I would say if you don't know what you're doing, do get going anyways. But the vision piece, I'm not going to lie to you, I still don't have it. I don't know what the vision is yet. This is the big shift. Okay, and I'm going to read this word now. This morning, it is finished. The time has come. A new cycle is already underway. The finish line of the last season is already behind you in the distance. Don't look back. Feel your new capacity. Eyes ahead. Look at how big the landscape has opened up. Your peripheral is open, 180 degrees. Feel the new hope on the horizon. Smell it. Focus on it. Like the first drop of rain Elijah saw that grows and grows and grows. Hope is the new excitement. The feeling of hope is new. And that means something to a heart that grew weary. You guys know, if you've been in grief or depression, you know what it means to think, will I ever feel normal again? Will I ever not feel this heaviness, this cloud, let alone hope? All right, if your heart has grown weary or you've been through grief, just to hope is the promise. It's the exciting thing to realize you can feel that in your heart at all. Does that make sense? Hope itself, to feel it, sense it, let it envelop your heart, is a tonic. It will feel like a promise in itself, in contrast to past seasons where you hoped for a thing. Hope itself is now what you want to hold on to. Does that make sense? It makes so much sense to me. Before, we hoped for things, but to the I don't mean traumatized as in like I'm saying that about us. I mean exile, that Israelites in the wilderness, that's considered a state of psychological mindset shift trauma. This is big epoch of time stuff. This is your family unit got broken up. This is people have died. This is global shifts. This is little t, not big T in all cases, but it's a place that the brain has to pilgrimage through in its life, in its journey of healing, okay? And what God is saying here is that when you have been through that, hope itself means something totally different. The feeling itself is the treasure, okay? Because it connects you with the fact that you are once again seeing the future. Something in you is like your capacity to desire, right? To believe. It means you're out of survival mode. Okay? How many of you guys know fight or flight, which is a state of survival, psychologically is your executive function, your ability to reason, to think on a higher level, is completely neutralized when your body kicks into survival mode. That's why they say there's no point in doing anything but trying to breathe and bring yourself back down to baseline to regulate your nervous system, because you do not want to fight with people in fight or flight. There is not an ability to reason. So anything you get out of them is going to be impulsive, it's going to be crazy, it's going to be nonsense. Okay, you cannot dream, you cannot feel anything but survival when you are going through major crises. All right, so I just felt like that made so much sense to me. Anyways, okay, you understand now something new. Hope fulfills. Hope is a state of being. Hope is satisfying. Hope changes how you see. It clarifies. It makes simple the moment that you're living in. Let hope baptize you again. Refresh your soul. Meditate on it. Let it magnetize your inner compass. I'm guiding you now with hope. Eat it, drink it, get obsessed with it. It is life, and it is evidence that you are exactly where you're supposed to be. Safe and sound, because you're not in fight or flight anymore. You're alive and you're on purpose. No matter where you are, or what you do, or whether you see it or not. Safe and sound. I don't know how that comes across to you, but to me, it was really sweet. It was just really, really sweet to think, for right now, I don't really have a vision, okay? We'll talk about vision tomorrow, because I want to get into Well, I want to share with you what God was sharing with me for those of us who don't have a vision, okay? And I think it's going to bring you a lot of peace and clarity, and I'll share that with you tomorrow. Hopefully with my microphone up on the stand where it belongs. I'll share that with you tomorrow, but for today, I want to leave you with the message of hope. And I actually felt like two things I was learning from reading about Christ's own ministry. So 2 things. He said, teach it and do it. Teach it and do it. Proclaim it and do it. Okay, so I want to pray for you now. That's what I'm going to do. Are you ready? Okay. My angel, if you want to put your hand on your heart, you can. If you feel like it's more your thoughts and you're like, my God, she says the word hope and I just want to brace myself. Put your hand wherever you feel like it needs to go. Honestly, it might be that your eyes, it's like, oh, my eyes, like hope. I don't know. Just pray that the scent of home would come to you. A comforting smell, that you'd be comforted. And it doesn't even have to be like, oh, I'm hoping. It's not that. Not for you. Not if you've not hoped in a while. God's not expecting you to start hoping, okay? He just wants you to smell it like home. Just take it in here. You can trust me. You can trust me. It's okay. Home is still here. Heaven is still, everything in heaven is okay. All right? God's okay. Where you came from, right? Your home. Secure. It's okay. It's still there. Don't worry about it. You don't have to feel it. You don't have to see it. Just smell it. Take it in. Okay? Because it's cooking in the kitchen. That's the first group. The second group is if your heart, when I was talking about the hardness of the soil, if you're like, oh my God, that's me. It's like, I am so cynical. I am so untrusting. I am guarded in a way that it's like, I can't be helped. First of all, rubbish. You're not. If I can be helped, you can be helped, okay? God knows that your heart is just, it's hard. It's just crusty, dry, hard soil. It hasn't been watered. You need the water of the Spirit. You need the water of hope. Okay, and he knows that. And again, it's not like, oh, here, water. It's not that. It's mist, right? Gentle. Like perfectly appropriate. That is what I'm praying over your heart right now, for a gentle misting. And I just feel that that's going to manifest differently for everybody. But that you would know it when your heart is being misted. It's like just a receiving, so delicate, so light, just a receiving, okay? Yeah, and then the third group is hope that you've crossed a finish line, you've finished out a cycle, and the hope in front of you, it's like you feel like you can see wider than before. Before it was like, focused. You remember the endurance stuff, right? The endurance is like, finish this freaking race, just get me through. I'm gonna keep going. I can't think, I can't hope, I can't imagine, just go. That's the third group. And I feel like the word to you is like, look again, because there is a horizon of hope where you're almost like positioned. It's like you've been through the endurance season, you've been trained, your obedience is dependable. God says you're trustworthy, you're dependable. I know you haven't been like putting stock in your own hopes and visions and dreams. You've just been going, but now you're in a new day and I've opened it up, and I want you to open up your heart, open up your eyes, and just take in the view. Take in the view. It's a more tangible hope. I think for this third group, the prayer that's coming to my heart is really that this coming week, as we talk more about hope, and tomorrow I want to talk about vision, because there was, like I said, there's just something I think I have to share that's good news. Anybody can have it. Anybody can do it. It's right around us. In fact, I'm remembering it right now. It's making me smile. And we'll talk about that tomorrow, but I want to pray for vision for you. I love you guys. I'm so happy to be back. And the good news is that it doesn't matter how challenging the last season has been for you, how many times you feel like you've been to hell and back. It doesn't matter how unfair of a, hand you've been dealt. It doesn't matter. If you have survived the past season and you are drawing breath today, then it is possible to hope again. He's going to start giving you the medicine of hope. It says, hope deferred makes the heart sick, but desire fulfilled is a tree of life. And that tree of life, that's the promise. That's the promise, and that's the good news for you. That tree of life is coming to you right now. It doesn't matter where you've been. It doesn't matter where I've been. It's coming to us now. We are going to start to hope again. I can't wait to do this journey with you. We're going to really talk about it. What are we don't even know what we're going to hope for. It doesn't matter because remember, we're just excited about the capacity to hope. Hope itself. Wow, I'm hoping. That's weird. If you get it, you get it. I don't have to explain it. Anyways, I love you guys so much. Drop me a comment. Let me know how this hit you. Remember to like and share and subscribe, do all that kind of stuff. Let's get this algorithm out there. And remember, if nobody else tells you this today, you have made it through the past season, okay? You are unstoppable. You're going to get there, one foot in front of the other. We're walking forward together, and I love you so much. See you tomorrow.